Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is probably the biggest game release of this year so far, and for quite some time now, I have not enjoyed regular flat screen PC games. You just don't get the same impact that VR gives you. Being enveloped inside a game is truly something else despite having to use a keyboard and mouse or a game controller. Once you've experienced a great flat screen game from within VR, your mind will be blown. So I decided I wanted to experience Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 in VR without having even played it normally. So I scoured the internet for hours until I found the Holy Grail. One sentence echoed through my bones. I have made a profile for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And now here we are, playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 in VR, somewhat. I'll have the full setup and everything a little bit later on in the video. So what is this game like in VR? It took a fair bit to get used to, and a hell of a lot of time until I got my VR settings to a playable state. I still don't think I have the perfect settings, but I have found what works and what I think is the best experience for me. There's also factors of the cutscenes, chat windows, and inventory among other things that don't actually work with the 3D view of VR, and you need to switch back and forth from VR to a flat window. All combat, exploring, crafting, and those sort of things can be played in VR. So you'll probably spend around 60% in actual VR and 40% in windowed mode, depending on what you're doing. But it doesn't take long to get used to, and you'll be naturally switching between both modes with a single click of a button. The experience you get from the VR aspect of this game far outweighs everything else. And you're probably still asking, how am I actually able to play this in VR? I'm using VorpX, because the game is not an Unreal Engine game, and Luke Ross has not made settings for this game yet with his R.E.A.L.VR mod. Now, I have never used VorpX until a few days ago when setting all this up, so I apologize if I get any terminology or settings wrong at all. Firstly, VorpX is a paid program, but it is compatible with hundreds of games out of the box. I've only used it for this game so far due to it being the only thing available right now. So you need to decide if buying VorpX is the right thing for you. I can't decide that. All I can say is that you need to think of it as an investment and not a single purchase for a once-off game. I'll be going over what's required, how to get the mod, where to find the profile, how to use it, and my current VorpX and PC settings. I'm also using the MetaQuest 3 as my VR headset. To get started, you'll need VorpX. So if you don't already have it and want to try it out, head on over to VorpX.com and purchase it. Like I said before, it's a paid program. You'll need to register it after purchase, which will be done via email, and it doesn't take long as it seems to be an automated process. So go through all the steps, get it installed and registered. If you have any issues, there's plenty of VorpX guides online to help you. Once you have your license all set up, you'll need the latest version, which can be found on the main page of VorpX.com, which is currently VorpX 24.1.0. Once you have the latest version, your VorpX should look like this. In the General tab, make sure your device selection is set to the device you're using, and make sure Use Alternative Hooking Method is enabled. Hit Apply and then go to Cloud Profiles, which you'll need to make a cloud profile account. Then type in Kingdom and you'll see Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 by R.E.A.L.VR. Hit Import Profile and Apply, and it would now be in your local profiles. Now in Local Profiles, search for Kingdom and select the newly imported profile. It will be assigned to kingdomcome.exe. You will need to rename the current exe to kingdomcome2.exe. That can be done from Steam by right-clicking the game and selecting Manage. Browse local files, then open the bin folder, then the Steam PGO folder. Once it is renamed to kingdomcome2.exe, you can select that in the VorpX and remove the original one. Once you have your new target, hit Apply and it will process and open up the Oculus PC app if you're using MetaQuest. You will need to play the game through Questlink or Oculus Link. Do not use Virtual Desktop or Steamlink. Before starting the game, I also set up some larger resolution monitor profiles. You can do this via your NVIDIA or AMD control panel. You'll need to add some larger resolutions that your monitor and GPU can handle. I think I ended up maxing out at around 6K resolution, 6880 by 2880, which isn't the best resolution for VR, but it works for me. So you can experiment with whatever resolutions you want. All these settings are experimental and all subjects to change and hardware dependent. Once you have that all set up, you can now throw on your VR headset and open Oculus Link. And from your PC, open up Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Don't load it from within your VR. Once loaded and hooked, it will open within your headset with the VorpX lobby. It may take a few tries before VorpX actually hooks to the game, so be patient. Hit E to enter the game. Once in the game, you'll want to change your resolution to your higher preferred resolution, and then start the game. The first thing I usually do within the game is to make sure my field of view is set to 112. Open console and type in CL_FOV112 and hit enter. Then back out of the console. And then open VorpX settings by hitting delete. and run the direct VR scan. This may fail a few times, but continue doing it until it succeeds on all tasks. There are multiple ways of viewing the game with VorpX, with each mode allowing you to extend the display in front of you in a window by clicking the mouse wheel or right thumbstick of a controller. The full VR mode, which lets you view the game fully from within the headset, allowing you to turn fully 360 degrees. There are also 4 different viewing settings within the full VR mode. The default pixel ratio of 1:1, letterbox 1 and letterbox 2, and then a stretched mode. So far as of this video, my preferred full VR mode setting is letterbox 1, as it feels like it just gives me the best VR experience. The other modes are immersive screen mode and cinema mode. Immersive screen mode is the better out of these two, as you can set it up to be wrapped around you, and may even be preferred by many over the full VR mode due to the fact you won't need to continually open the flat screen mode to view your inventory, maps or conversations. The cinema mode is just a big flat screen in a home theater setting. This mode is nothing special and I do not use it at all, but it's there if you want that option. Out of all 3 modes, I'm using the full VR mode with the letterbox 1 setting. Like I said before, it gives me the best VR experience. But you will need to switch back and forth to the flat screen mode quite often. And just a little warning, the combat within the game is already quite hard, and I feel that VR makes the combat even more difficult, so please keep that in mind. But to be able to experience this game within VR is something I highly recommend.